This is Future Fork, a show that explores the world of food and the decisions we can make today that will shape our future. On the show, you'll hear from innovators in the food space. We'll have disruptive conversations with people from around the globe who are taking the lead on topics like food sustainability, ending world hunger, food security, and so much more. I'm your host, Paul Newnham. In this episode, we're talking to Chef Moyo Odunfa, a Nigerian chef who's on a mission to showcase the richness and diversity of African cuisines on the world stage. In today's chat, we're exploring how food connects us to culture, identity, and community, and why African cuisines deserve a much bigger place in global conversations. You'll hear about Chef Moyo's journey into the kitchen, how she balances honouring tradition whilst pushing culinary boundaries, and the role chefs play in shaping conversations around sustainability and food security. Let's get into it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for joining our show.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about your journey into the kitchen.
So people always ask me, and I say that my first decision about the culinary industry was first, would I say, intellectual. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just knew that I had interests that included arts, science, business, and for me, culinary arts brought it all together. So there's like the arts in like the food styling, there's the science and the chemistry behind the food, and then there's a business when it comes to hospitality. And it gave me the opportunity to work with my hands. So it was first like, okay, this thing seems to fit all my interests. And then I found myself here. But it's been a really beautiful journey. I would say that for me, it has been one of self-discovery, especially when it comes to West African cuisine, because I realized that it's something I wanted to represent, but I didn't know much about it. So it had to now become a journey of learning, of discovery, of documentation, and that's been really fun.
So tell us a little bit about, like, as you went through that journey of discovery, what role did your family, your community play in really shaping your relationship with food and then, I guess, moving into this space?
My community played a very big part. I come from a big, close-knit family, and food means a lot to us. Every celebration, we're thinking about, okay, what are we going to eat? What are we going to cook? Who is going to cook the food? And that kind of became something I was leaning into, and I was able to now kind of explore through that. Okay. When I think about my wider community, they literally taught me. Because whenever I would say to myself, I don't know what Northern Nigerian cuisine looks like, I don't know what Eastern Nigerian cuisine looks like, a friend was always one call away. And their mom would invite me to their house, I would sit with them for a meal, we'll cook from morning to night. And it was always such a lovely, immersive journey. I have not lacked for knowledge when it comes to Nigerian cuisine because of my immediate community. People I went to school with, people that live on my street, things like that have been such an important part of my journey as a chef. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more in a minute about what food looks like in Nigeria, because I think, it's such a massive country with so many different tribal groups. And so let's dive into that in a minute. But was there a moment that you would say defined where you sort of went from just seeing food as a potential career that you could use your hands, that you could get involved in, to being an entry point into culture, to health, to sustainability?
Yes, I remember the moment actually.
Really?
Yes, I was in culinary school. We'd done our first internship and we were doing Chef of the Day. We had this lovely food-inspired restaurant, 20 guests all around the open kitchen, and it was my Chef of the Day. And I had worked really hard to think about a menu that represented Nigerian cuisine, because for me, I wanted to do more of that, but I don't think I knew why. And I had some pushback from the people who you would say were like the top of my class when it comes to culinary prowess.
Where did you go to culinary school?
Culinary Arts Academy of Switzerland.
Okay.
In Beauvais, yes. So it was a very international class. And, the people who, they're really like, I wanted to be a chef since I was 8 years old and they're really good at it. They had some pushback. And to me, it was like, okay, what's going on here? When it's your Chef of the Day, I accept your French, your Greek, your whatever recipes and do my best at it. So why do you have an issue what I'm presenting to you today? And that's when I realized that it's because lots of people do not believe that Africa or West Africa really has cuisine. It's not really seen as something to be respected or honored or looked at. And so that for me made me question, like, what's going on here? And I think that's what really made me start thinking more deeply, that this food has to be more than just this. And I started to see how diverse we are as a nation, how much our food impacts our culture, our traditions, our festivals, and I just started to dig deeper. And then I was having a conversation with just someone like 2 days ago. She called me, she's my friend, she lives in Manchester, and she was saying she has some young friends who say Nigerian food is not healthy and so they don't eat it anymore. And they said that there's no way that they can cook it, they just said it's not healthy. And she feels bad for them because she feels like they're missing out. Like, how can you say you won't enjoy your own local cuisine? So there's that as well. People who believe, Nigerian food is just heavy, it's just oil. And those two things made me think there must be more. And I think that really started the journey.
So what excites you the most about representing on the global stage? We're here at Eat Forum in Stockholm. You've cooked for everyone last night, an amazing dish. But what excites you the most about really bringing this culture, this story to the global stage?
Let's just say it excites me and it scares me at the same time. And I think that is our diversity.
Yeah.
And people have come up to me even today to say, what was the key spice? I'm like, it's tricky, there are many. But I feel like West African cuisine, the world hasn't really had the opportunity to try it. Yeah. We have, even me, like I keep telling people that Nigerian cuisine excites me because I know that if I keep discovering from today to the day I die, I won't finish.
Yeah.
We have such a variety of nutritious, delicious, beautiful food. And for me, it's like, okay, how do we keep sharing this with the world? And I think that's what keeps pushing me on.
So how do you balance the tradition element and innovation when you look at Nigerian heritage and cuisine?
It's tricky, I have to say. As people say, people will drag you.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is trying to be honest and true to yourself.
Yeah.
I've realized that even the basic dishes that we think are, jollof rice, if you go to a different household, there are different ways that they do it. So I know that my authenticity is not trying to represent the whole of Nigeria in a dish. Yeah. But it's being able to say true, to say, this is how these people do it. I've heard it this way, I've seen it that way. And for me, when I saw it, it reminded me of something. And I brought those two things together. So for me, I think storytelling helps me show people that there's representation and there is innovation at the same time. So if I'm able to explain to you where this comes from, I hope it will resonate with you. It will remind you, it might not be your childhood, but at least it will have a note, something that reminds you of something, and then we can connect on that level.
So it's like you're seeing that there's the diversity and the richness is actually something to lean into.
Yes.
And something that I'm seeing you say we should celebrate it, not try and homogenize it.
100%. We are different and it's good. We don't have to be the same. But why can't we celebrate all our differences together, embrace them? You know what I mean? This is how we cook jollof rice in my house. Oh, really? That's nice. This is how we do ours. Great. And we all have something to share.
Amazing. So if there was one myth or misconception about African food, and I know what does that even mean maybe, what would it be?
That is one cuisine.
Yeah.
You know when people say African food, it sounds very, but do people really say, I guess people say European food. But when they do, you have a question that follows you, like, what exactly do you mean? What are you talking about? And most times when people say African food, fortunately or unfortunately, they're thinking about North Africa.
Okay.
Most times. You hear tagine.
What's the dish? Tagine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those are like the most common things that come up. But it's so much more than that. There's nothing wrong with saying African cuisine. But I think the question should then follow, what region? What part? What people? Because that's another thing. We have some tribes that span our borders. Yeah. Because North Africa was kind of drawn. So we have tribes that span our borders. So even though, I'm Nigerian, there's Yoruba people in Nigeria, Yoruba people in Ivory Coast as well. So we have those. So I think for me, it's the fact that our cuisine is much more than one. We are so, so, so diverse. And we also have to celebrate that. We also have to be proud of that. Sometimes we hide it. But I think it's time to change that.
What's your favorite cuisine in Africa? This is a hard one. Very controversial.
I have to say Nigerian, no? It is. It actually is.
Yeah.
At this moment, at least. I think it changes from time to time. But at this moment, it's Nigerian cuisine.
Yeah. No. And I wouldn't expect anything else. So one of the things that we've really noticed is chefs are becoming a powerful advocate for change, to think about their role in not only shaping conversations on sustainability, nutrition, and food security. So how do you personally respond to this idea of being an advocate for really driving forward some of these issues?
For me, I think it's a great opportunity. And it's also a responsibility because we have to do it well. and do it in a way that honors what it is we're trying to show and what it is we're trying to celebrate.
Yeah.
I think it gives much more depth to who we are. It gives us a story to tell, a way to connect with people, because people love storytelling. And it makes it bigger than just, I don't want to say just food, it makes it deeper, as deep as food really is, because food is more than eating.
Yeah.
So I think it helps us reach into other aspects of the economy, of who we are, and open our minds. Say, a chef doesn't just have to cook delicious food. It has to be sustainable. It has to be nutritious. It has to mean something to someone. And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah. Did you hear a bit of the Eat Lancet presentation?
Not
Because you've been
really,
in
honestly.
the kitchen.
Yes, I have.
But I mean, okay, let me give you a little summary. I mean, the conversation was really around how do we look at food for health, food for our environment and climate, and then also food around what they call justice or creating, So from your perspective, how do you see the linkages there as well?
And it's so interesting because like 2 weeks ago, we had a dining experience around food justice.
Yeah.
Because I have this friend who is a food and culture writer and she wanted to bring people together.
Okay.
Because a lot of times we don't think about the way our food systems impact or affect people. And I think when we think about it, it impacts our buying choices, how we want to spend our money, the things we decide to do. Our food system, especially in Nigeria, is so complicated and it benefits very few people. We have so much food waste, post-harvest loss because of the issues on the road. But we don't think about our part to play in that. We don't think about how to support the smallholder farmer. We don't think about how something like buying quote-unquote ugly produce is important. You just want the very pretty, even if they're full of pesticides or whatever. So for me, food justice is about connecting to that. I want to know why. Whenever I go to the market, I ask them, well, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're offended. They're like, why are you disturbing me? But I want to know, like, what do you know about what you're selling? Is it important to you as well? And I think when we dig deep, those conversations mean something to us. And it's something we can constantly explore. It doesn't have an end.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. So can you talk a little bit about the link between local farmers, indigenous ingredients, and the dishes you create?
Great. So the link between local farmers and indigenous ingredients is very important because we have indigenous ingredients and we have those that are not indigenous, but they've acclimatized, they're growing them, and it's great to also buy them locally. One thing about indigenous ingredients to me in Nigeria is that a lot of them are underappreciated. We use them for particular dishes and nothing else. So they're kind of relegated to the sidelines. We don't really celebrate them.
Yeah.
They're good. We realize that they're good. We eat them, but they're typical. They're ordinary. They're normal. They're not really important. Even as when it comes to our Nigerian rice, you will think that as a nation that eats rice, we will want to eat our own rice. But because of stereotypes, that's not the case. Even an ingredient like fonio. You know what they used to call fonio in Nigeria during colonial times?
No?
Hungry rice.
Okay.
As in what you eat when you don't have rice.
Yeah.
So people have that misconception in their mind. So sometimes eating local is like, it's because you cannot afford to eat imported food. That's why you're eating local food. So that's why supporting local farmers is so important. And these ingredients, the indigenous ones, sometimes we're exporting them.
Yeah.
So we are not benefiting from them ourselves.
Yeah.
They're going somewhere else. And also because they're being exported, the farmers don't always have control over the pricing.
Okay.
And I think that's also important. So you said local ingredients, indigenous ingredients, and farmers, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So is there an ingredient or crop in Africa that you think could play a bigger role in really meeting some of the global challenges?
Yeah, many of them.
Tell us a couple that you think.
I think let's start with Bambara.
Yeah.
Because
What's Bambara? Explain what it is.
So Bambara groundnut is a bean, but it grows underground.
It's a nut that's called, it's a bean that's called a nut.
Yes, because it grows, groundnut grows underground.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called Bambara groundnut.
Okay.
And it's so nutritious, it's so good for you. I know someone that used to make Bambara milk for babies that are lactose intolerant because it's such a complete protein.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a very valuable crop. It's grown predominantly by women, but it's the same thing. We use it for one thing or two things. It's a very hard bean, so it takes a long time to boil. So some people are a bit deterred by that.
Yeah.
What they typically use it for in Nigeria is oppa.
Okay.
And nothing else.
What's oppa?
So oppa is like a steamed bean pudding.
Okay.
It's like a breakfast.
Okay.
People hardly make it at home, but you see it on the streets and you eat it. But it has so much more potential than just oppa.
Yeah.
It's so...
What can you make with it?
What can you not make with it? I'm making waffles with it today.
Amazing.
You can make your typical... Anything you normally make with beans, you can use Bambara.
Amazing.
You can. So that's one thing about it. And it's available, it's affordable, it's on our streets, and it's so good for us.
Amazing.
Fonio is another big one. It always still shocks me whenever I meet Nigerians that have never heard of fonio before. But it reiterates to me that we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because people will come and be like, I never knew about this fonio. I'm like, where have you been? Where have you really been? So it lets me
Yeah.
know there's much more work to do. Is it baobab? So full of vitamin C. Is it moringa? Full of antioxidants. So all these things, even when it comes to our indigenous fruits, agbalumo, we have something called agbalumo. That's my favorite fruit. It's African star apple.
Okay.
It's a tiny fruit. It's tart and it's sweet, and it grows December to May. So we have some beautiful, beautiful things like that the world needs to hear more about.
Talking a little bit about these issues, colonialism you mentioned, and you mentioned the hungry rice. How do you think colonialism has impacted food systems, particularly in Nigeria?
It has a huge impact. Because it's whatever was valued during colonial times that Nigerians now value.
Okay.
Anything that was not seen as good enough, because even things like Guinea corn, that's what we call sorghum in Nigeria. I know Guinea was a prefix used for things that came from the African nation. It's like, the corn that's eaten by you people. Guinea fowl, your own fowl. So those things are seen as, let me eat the real corn. Do you get? Let me eat the actual chicken. So there's those misconceptions that people feel that it's because you cannot afford to eat imported food. That's why you're eating this Nigerian food. But those narratives are being rewritten, actually. By chefs, by food producers, people like African food change makers. There's a lot of work being done, but I think there's so much more to do because we are many. In Nigeria, in Africa, there's so many of us. I need to realize, we need to wake up to the fact that what we have is valuable. Otherwise, we won't benefit from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to have advocates like you doing that.
Pleasure.
So one thing I like to always close our conversations with is a question that we can all relate to. What's your favorite food at the moment? You're a chef, so you can make all kinds of things, but what are you enjoying eating?
At the moment, in this present time, I would say my favorite dish is banga.
Banga?
Yes.
Describe it to me.
Banga is palm fruit extract.
Okay.
So when you want to make palm oil, the first stage, you have to extract the juice of the palm fruit. So that is what is used to make banga soup. Before you refine to palm oil, you have like this thick yellow liquid that we boil, we add spices, we add meats, we add everything into it, and then you serve it with either rice or what we call swallow, which is like fufu or pounded yam or something like that. For me, it's very hearty.
It's great.
And it has lovely spices in there. They're not necessarily peppery, but they are deep. It feels like home. It's like that bowl that just feels like home.
So one of the things you just mentioned, palm oil, that often is seen as a bad thing that we shouldn't eat because the orangutans and we need to look after the forest.
Yes.
This is a bit of a myth from the palm oil
100%.
you're talking about. It's different.
Yes, and that's why I think it's important for us to know where our food comes from. Because there's palm oil that is doing a lot of damage in the world, but where does it come from? Red palm oil has been farmed or produced in West Africa for millennia. And the thing about this is that red palm oil especially is not refined to clear oil. And you know why they refine it? Let me tell you the story just to close out. So during colonial times, the British came and they saw that, this palm oil is cheap. Like these people are producing it on a large scale. So they took it to their colonies in Malaysia and Indonesia. But people didn't like the red oil. They were like, what was this? So to make it accessible, they had to hydrogenate it, make it into a clear oil. That increases trans fats, but the oil is still very cheap. So what happened was I decided to cut down rainforests to grow more and more oil palm fruits, to now create a huge, massive palm oil industry that is clear oil. That is not very good for you. But the palm oil that we grow in West Africa is the red one, full of beta-carotene. It's still an oil, so you have to eat it in moderation, but it is very good for you in and of itself. Amazing. It's not the typical palm oil that is in all the labels,
But you've heard it.
Yes.
I mean, it's so important that we know where this food comes from, because otherwise we're just being misled.
Exactly. So important. And then there's bias. Because even West Africans are saying, I won't eat palm oil, I want to be healthy, I'll eat only olive oil. And you're like, why don't you embrace what is yours? It's a big issue, actually.
It's a massive issue.
People that want to be healthy don't believe that they can eat a Nigerian diet and be healthy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So lovely.
You've been listening to Future Fork, a show that explores the world of food and the decisions we can make today that will shape our future. Future Fork is produced by Disruptive Consulting Solutions and supports the SDG2 Advocacy Hub. For more info, head to the website futureforkpodcast.com. This show was produced with strategy and production support from Wavelength Creative. So you don't miss an episode of Future Fork, make sure to subscribe to or follow the show in your podcast app. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps others find the show. I'm Paul Newnham, and I'll see you in the next episode.